developments in Southeast Asia. We have offices now in Vietnam, Cambodia, Indonesia. We have significant operating activities and business interests in the Philippines, in Thailand, in Indonesia. And I also look after developments that we do have in markets in North Asia, which includes Japan, South Korea, and Mongolia. And in South Asia, I work and look after developments that we have going on in Nepal, Afghanistan, and Bhutan. So assisting me also is my colleague Habiba Zaidi, who's the Regional Educational Manager for the Middle East, North Africa, and South Asia region for ACCA. I'm sure all of you know Habiba. I've had some comments that Habiba keeps sending you emails, which is always a good thing, because it's only a problem when no one's communicating with you or sending you any emails at all. So I'll let Habiba introduce herself briefly, and then we'll have Mr. Shoaib Masters, who's going to be our expert trainer, introduce himself very briefly. He will introduce himself in detail during his presentation as well, but perhaps a very brief introduction, Shoaib. So first off, maybe Habiba, if you'd like to just introduce yourself to the group.
I think I don't need a mic, yes? Yes. Thank you very much. It's always very, very pleased to me to be in Nepal. And yes, as I committed in my last visit in July, that I'll work with all of you to develop the good quality institution in Nepal. And yes, I am here again. And thank you very much for accepting my lots of emails, phone calls, very rigorous follow-up calls. And with regards to my introduction, yes, most of you already know. My work is to work with the student providers, colleges, approvals, partners, to work with and students to make sure that themselves register with ACCA but also pass into the exams. To improve the pass rates, to provide the technical support to the colleges, how to improve and how to follow the ACCA requirements and standards, and also to share the best teaching and best tuition providing qualities and the activities which other people are doing in the region.
Okay. Nice.
Thanks, Razali. I'm Shoaib Masters. I'll be going into a bit more detail of my profile when I start my training and presentation. But if you just turn to your delegate manual in your folder, and that will give you an idea why ACCA is utilizing my services. Broadly, management consultancy background, started off in training with an international firm, management consultancy background, academically right up to MBA from Nottingham Business School, involved both in management and teaching in the areas of strategic management. And I'm now here, and I've been doing quite a bit of this after I've done already 4 locations, starting in Dhaka, and I've reached here, and I'm still off to a couple of UAE locations. So it's really nice to be here. From what I've seen and a few discussions with you earlier, I think we'll have a good day together. And the least I can promise you is that you'll have a bit of fun as well. Thanks.
And maybe in this table we can get Dilip to start the introductions, and then the rest of the table.
Sure. Good morning, all of you. This is Dilip Nirola. I am an ACCA member. I did my ACCA from Kuala Singapore back in 2006. And in addition to that, I'm CIA from IIA US and MBA. Currently working as the director of National College of Pharmacy, one of the approved learning providers in Nepal. I take papers on corporate reporting and financial reporting, both at ACCA and P2. In addition to that, my full-time employment is with Care International. I'm the head of operations there. And in addition to that, I'm the International Assembly member for the Middle East and South Asia of ACCA, representing this region into the International Assembly so that we could feed back to the Council for decision making and strategic issues. And that's how it is. This is my second year in the Council, in the International Assembly, and I look forward to contributing, working together with you all and the regional team, Reza and Habiba, as well as Dr. Afra Sazad, and I work very closely with Lucia Real Martin back in Australia as well. So this is how it is, and yes, I'll be happy to discuss and learn from this forum. And I thank you so much, Reza and Habiba, to make this happen. And thank you so much.
David. I'm an ACCA member, and I'm using Newspaper Accountancy. I teach taxation paper. Good morning, everyone. My name is Vinod Lamsal. I did my chartered accountancy from Institute of Chartered Accountants of India in 2004 and ACCA in 2008. And I teach PG subject in NCA since last 3 years. And I hope to interact and share knowledge with all of you. Thank you.
Okay. Hello, I'm Mumita Perera, an ACCA. I teach management accounting at NCA and I'm working in an audit firm.
Hello, I'm Sanjay Pradhan. I teach BBA F1 at NCE and I'm working as director for BFM consulting firm.
Good morning, everyone.
I'm giving my ACCA member. I'm teaching FBA F3 in NCA for last 3 years and I'm working as an economic department in Nalanda.
Good morning, everyone. Myself, Praveen Katwal. I'm an ACCA member and I currently teach the paper F5 at National College of Accountancy. Additionally, I'm also the managing director in Strategic Business Solutions, one of the consulting firms. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Sunil Martin. I teach F6 in National College of Accountancy and currently I'm employed by Citizens Bank International Limited as a supervisor in risk management department.
Can we have your microphone?
Oh, sure.
I'm Ayush Resta, ACCA member. I've completed my ACCA from London School of Business and Finance. And I came in Nepal like 2 months ago, and I'm teaching F3 in the British College. Thank you.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I'm Sunil Stapit. I've done my bachelor's in accounting and master's, and as well as ACCA from Sydney in 2009. And at the moment, I'm representing the British College. So I'm teaching their auditing, F8 and F1, and at the same time, I'm teaching CIMA subjects in other colleges. Thank you.
Hello, good morning to everybody. I'm different. I'm not a ACCA actually graduates, but I'm working as a vice principal at the British College. My background starts as a MBA from AIT Bangkok, and I went to Harvard for further education. Then from there, I went to England for a PhD from University of Birmingham. For about more than 2 decades, I worked as director at Administrative Staff College. Then recently, I joined the British College. Since British College provides British education, I thought why not to introduce ACCA. We are providing British degrees from University of West of England and also Leeds Metropolitan. Now we are having ACCA tuitions since last year, really encouraged by Habiba and Pratap Pradhan. I'm really pleased to be with you this morning. Actually, I'm coming here to learn from all of you. I can't teach anything. Thank you very much.
Good morning, I'm Kiran Sakya and I'm representing the British College as well. I'm actually the program administrator. So, and my background is management obviously, but I've been into computers for about at least 30 years, giving training, teaching, doing even academic classes. And I'm here actually to see how I can excel in providing education, or rather let's say coaching for ACCA as well. So I do not take any ACCA papers. Thank you.
Namaste, I'm Pooja Parajuli and I teach F7 in BM Jobs and I'm working as finance officer in a Swiss-based NGO called Norla.
Hello, a very good morning to everyone. I'm Sowadi Kari. I just completed my, just gave my final papers from Kaplan, London. I'm not teaching any papers at the moment, but I'm planning to teach. That's why I'm in this seminar, and I hope I'll have a lovely time with you all. Thank you.
Hello, good morning, everybody. I'm Vivek Mehta. I'm tutor of F9 in Knowledge Academy. Said that my full-time job is at Approximate as a finance teacher. Thank you.
Good morning.
Hello, I'm Krishna Acharya. I'm Director of Knowledge Academy and I'm teaching F2. Thank you.
Well, thanks everyone for the introductions, and I think that'll be really useful over the course of today as you get to meet and interact with one another and also just share ideas. Which leads me to the next slide. Why are we here? From ACCA perspective, we are here because although we are an international global qualification committed to providing a high-level qualification to individuals of application and ability around the world, one of our most important stakeholders in getting these qualifications to students are you, as our tutors and as our learning providers. So we find it absolutely paramount to give you the support that you need in delivering a high-quality qualification to your students. I think your role goes beyond just providing an ACCA qualification or ACCA tutoring to students. I think your role is more also about providing an individual with the set of technical skills required by employers in the market, and also ensuring that you instill within them a high level and high sense of ethical values. So ACCA's role is to support you in this delivery of producing high quality accounting professionals within Nepal. And also, I think a number of you mentioned this, it is the reason why we are all here is to share ideas, is to share best practices. I know as different colleges, there's always going to be a level of competitive element within the room itself. But I think there's nothing to stop us from sharing best practices and ideas, because if we all improve collectively, we'll find that the benefits will outweigh the competitive elements that exist here amongst us. So it is my hope that you are open in your sharing and your discussions as well. We will have a panel session later on. We will have Habiba, Shoaib, Dilip as a member of International Assembly, Robin and Pratap Pradhan, ACCA's voluntary representative, later in the afternoon. And what we'd like to have during the panel discussion is for you to share with us your challenges, your issues, your success stories, so that we can then go back and deliver appropriate strategies which will help you and be more relevant to your needs here in Nepal. So what we'd like is a two-way engagement and dialogue, so that we have a very effective and productive process. Because I think there's no value in having this meeting without us having this level of openness that we always need. So what I ask from you is to be as open as you can and to share with us as much as you want to, and be honest and be as transparent as you need to be about the challenges that you face in your own individual roles, in your own individual institutions. And together we'll find a solution to some of the challenges and issues that you have here in the market. So in terms of the program, after my session, I'm just going to talk very briefly on what is your role in promoting ACCA membership to students. We will have Shoaib going through some of the technical elements of today's discussions, including course preparation, tackling numerical and discursive papers, and also sharing with you some of the exam techniques that you can pass on to your students when they go on to sit the ACCA exams. We will have, like I said, a panel discussion later on, and following on from that panel discussion, we will have closing comments and roadmap to the future, where we try and highlight some of the concrete action steps that we want to try and undertake together in order to help you deliver your roles more effectively. Now, my agenda, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this, is I'm just going to spend the next 10 minutes really talking about how you, in your role as tutors or potential tutors, as the case may be, in convincing students about the values and the benefits of membership. What does membership mean? What is the value of a membership or ACCA membership following the exams? And what can you do to influence this particular transition from being a student to becoming a member? So what do members get with ACCA? I think this will be useful for some of you who may be members as well, thinking, what do I get as a member? So let's just recap some of these issues here. I think the first thing that we have is employers choose ACCA. ACCA has over now 154,000 members in over 170 countries. We also have roughly just under 500,000 students as well sitting ACCA in different parts of the world. And I think the portability of the ACCA qualification, the fact that it is widely recognized by employers, by government agencies, by regulators in a number of countries, has helped ACCA and has helped ACCA members as well. I'll talk a bit more about the regulatory recognition of ACCA, and I know that there are some issues here still in Nepal around the recognition of ACCA. We will discuss this if not right now, at least over during the panel session and over the tea and lunch breaks as well, so that we can find out a roadmap as to what we can do moving forward, and also share with you what we have been doing in terms of our engagement here locally as well. ACCA conducted a survey of over 1,300 employers or companies all around the world, and we asked them to rate and to rank the various international professional qualifications body. Now, I'm pleased to say that 50% of the 1,300 employers rated ACCA as the leading global professional accountancy body in reputation, influence, and size. And this is 3 times more than the next body. So, in terms of the recognition by a global cohort of employers, ACCA's recognition is viewed at the top. So when I say 50% of them recognize ACCA as the leading, it doesn't mean the other 50% don't know who ACCA are. It just means the other 50% do not rate ACCA as the highest, but they may rate or rank ACCA as the second or the third. And this is because in a number of countries, like in the US, where a lot of the employers are based in, the American Institute is rated the #1 body. So it's just a market situation, which is market specific. So the fact that we have global recognition of ACCA by employers around the world is a testament to the quality and the robustness of the qualification. So if you look at Shell, for example, Shell have now reviewed their global training policies. And now Shell, so they have now recognized only 2 qualifications, and ACCA is one of the qualifications. For an individual to become a manager and above in a Shell finance function, they have to have an ACCA. So anyone who is a member or anyone who's a student who wants to apply for Shell, their membership or the fact that they're an ACCA student will automatically help them in their job application towards a company like Shell. And likewise, it also applies to employers like Standard Chartered and HSBC and Unilever. So the employer part of work is something that we're going to start a lot more on here in Nepal. Now, ACCA's involvement in Nepal has been, over the course of last 10 years, we found, I was back here in late 2010, but in last year and the year before as well, we've been doing a lot of work in helping learning providers and engagement with universities. And moving forward for 2013, I can assure you that ACCA will be back in Nepal at least 4 to 6 more times this year after this event. And we will be working not only with you, but also with employers to build recognition for ACCA members and students who are studying here in Nepal. And these are the examples of some of the testimony that we get from some of the major employers. So this is the CFO, Barry Lee, of HSBC in Hong Kong. He's a really nice guy, and he did ACCA in Hong Kong, continued some of his exams in China, and is now back in Hong Kong as a CFO for HSBC. And these are the kinds of comments and feedback that we get from employers all around the world. And this is something that we will try and achieve here in Nepal as well. And I think the role that you have as tutors is also, during your interactions and engagements with employers here in Nepal, try and get their commitment and support for the ACCA qualification, because that will certainly help the promotion of ACCA qualification in respective companies, and also encourage them to recruit ACCA members and students. And I think if you look at all of us, myself included, the reason why we did a professional qualification is because we wanted job enhancement, career prospects improved. And I think we need to try and build that here in the context of Nepal. And I think the work that you have to help achieve that is going to be absolutely critical and instrumental. Another way of convincing individuals or your students as to why they should go on towards ACCA membership is that it essentially is a key to their own career pathways. And one of the initiatives the ACCA has launched over the last 18 months is a careers portal called accacareers.com. Now, this portal was introduced about 18 months ago with the sole purpose and express objective of helping students and members find jobs online, and for employers to also post jobs as well. So we now have on average about 64 job postings on the website daily. So only members and students can actually access this website, and they can go in there and they can start looking at jobs that are of interest to them, and employers can also post their information and their requirements on the job as well. And this is something that we'll try and extend as well into Nepal in the coming year. Now, in terms of ACCA's involvement in Nepal, so Habiba and Afra help me with the educational support that we are doing here in Nepal. I now have recruited 2 more people in Singapore who are based in Singapore, and part of their job is also to work with employers here in Nepal as well. And part of their role is to try and bring initiatives like this into the local market as well. So we are now having a larger team that will help support the delivery of ACC's strategic objectives here in Nepal. And I must also thank, I think, Dilip here through his great work at the International Assembly. I will talk about how ACCA works in terms of its governance structures very briefly towards the later part of this presentation. But the International Assembly is a grouping of members who represent either regions or countries around the world who bring to the Council, which is the ultimate decision-making platform within ACCA, the various issues and challenges so that they can take steps to address some of these issues and challenges. So I think Dilip, you've done a really good work in bringing the issues of South Asia and in Nepal to the views of Council and to our senior management, which has now helped us then ensure that we have the appropriate strategies in place as well. So thank you. And in terms of ACCA careers as well, one employer, one new company registers every 12 hours to post jobs as well. So this again, increases the number of companies that we work with, within the portal. Now the portal is not just to look, for jobs for students or members. It is also designed as a tool to help them develop themselves, their CVs, and to also share with them the latest emerging ideas and views on what employers are looking for, so that the student or the members have an idea as to what and how they should prepare themselves. For example, before going for an interview or going for how to prepare and to produce their CVs in a way that is going to appeal to the employers and so on and so forth. So there are a lot of tools here contained within this portal, and I will strongly recommend for those of you who are members and also to encourage your students to go into the portal to explore the various functions available for them so that they also make full use of it as well. We also have a very strong set of online networks that ACCA members can benefit from. So the LinkedIn website, for example, we have a members-only section where you have a lot of sharing of views from members across different countries, across different sectors and segments, sharing their thoughts and views on latest developments within the profession or within the industries they are in as well. We also have a Facebook page which will encourage your students to also sign up to, which gives latest information, exam techniques, and also give highlights as to what ACCA's developments are in different parts of the world that you will benefit from, as well as a Twitter page as well at ACCA News, which gives us the latest updates in ACCA's technical thought leadership and research and insight development and projects and initiatives that we've launched as well that will help both members and students. The other benefit of an ACCA membership is really the global portability. We have over 70 global partnerships all around the world. So for example, in the regions that I am looking at, we have now MOUs with almost all of the Southeast Asian countries. So we have direct recognitions in Singapore. So if you're an ACCA member, you can become a local Singapore member to get practicing licenses. We have direct recognition in Malaysia. We have direct recognition in Vietnam and Cambodia. We have an MOU with the Indonesian Institute. We have MOUs with the Philippines Institute. We are signing an MOU with the Myanmar Institute towards the end of this month. We are going to have an MOU in Mongolia. We've been working with the Koreans and the Japanese as well. And likewise, we have been working very closely with the Nepali Institute, as well as helping Afghanistan develop its own professional body as well. So when you talk about ACCA membership, you take up a membership qualification, and literally you can really work anywhere on the back of this qualification. You can work in the UK, where ACCA has statutory recognition. You can work in most parts of the EU and Ireland. You have recognition in China, Hong Kong, and Southeast Asia. And if you look at the profile of the average ACCA member, we've had someone who studied ACCA in the UK at Kaplan. We had someone who studied ACCA in Singapore, someone who studied in Sydney, who've come back to Nepal. I studied in the UK, worked in Singapore, went back to the UK, and now working within the region. So it is the portability of the qualification that really helps someone, which is how the ACCA qualification really helps someone. We also have close tie-ups with a number of academic partners and institutions such as the Oxford Brookes University, as well as other educational institutions such as the James Herriot University, and also other professional bodies like the IIA, where you can get reciprocal membership once you do a number of IIA exams. So we do have these arrangements with other industry bodies as well, which will help members who wish to specialize either in the areas of taxation or internal audit or so on and so forth. So these partnerships come as a result of the ACCA qualification. And this again becomes a benefit of membership that you should be speaking to your students about as well. Another real benefit of membership, one of the other perks of becoming a member of ACCA is the information that we make available to you to help you in your jobs as members as well. And I think when you convince students about the kind of support that they will get as students of ACCA, that the support does not stop the moment they finish the exams. The support is one that is ongoing from the time they start off as a student through all of their time as a member in their own professional careers and capacities as well. And with regards to access to further qualifications, if you're an ACCA member, it also gives you the opportunity to do a distance learning blended MBA program from the Oxford Brookes University MBA program. And there is significant cost and time savings involved as well. An ACCA member who does an Oxford Brookes MBA would save up to about £3,500 or £3,900 from the actual fees that the MBA otherwise charges. And you can also complete the MBA through distance learning module over 22 months. Whereas in other instances, it may take between 24 to 28 months to complete the entire program as well. So there is a real value for someone who wishes to go on beyond ACCA towards an MBA qualification as well. So like I said earlier on, the support from ACCA doesn't stop after exams. So we have good value online CPD, we have good value online conferences that are sometimes made free for members to attend and to download developments and research and insight, and also online conferences where they can actually see speakers and share in best practices from other industry leaders and speakers from different sectors and segments. We have also a lot of CPD provisions and audiovisual resources and technical content available on the website to support members. So what is your role in influencing membership? Now, I think most of you here would be familiar with these 4 boxes that towards becoming a member involves not just the exams, but also ensuring that students have the right values and right ethics, and they do an ethics module online, and that they have 3 years of relevant work experience. Obviously, your role in exams, it's absolutely critical. You are the guys helping students pass the exams and meet all of the paper requirements so that they complete the exam successfully. I think your role in also instilling a sense of ethics in students is absolutely critical. So when you're teaching, for example, P1, governance, risk, and ethics, or even from F1, professional accountant, you have to start teaching students not just to be, accountants who are good technically, but good accountants with the right sense of values. So I think your role goes beyond just delivering and imparting technical content, but also instilling the values of ethics, of corporate responsibility within the individuals who are studying ACCA. And finally, in terms of experience, I think this is where then you have to guide students towards how do they complete the practical experience requirements, how do they go on and ensure that they meet 3 years of requirements, because sometimes there's a lot of confusion. Some students think they can only meet these requirements by working in an audit firm. And I think it's important to dispel these notions, these misconceptions, and to help students understand they can meet the 3 years experience requirements regardless of the sector they choose to work in. They can work in any sector. As long as they work in a finance function, they will be able to meet the requirements. And how do they go about filling it up and completing it online? And I think it's also important for you to communicate to students as well what employers are looking for. I think gone are the days, 20, 30 years ago, when accountants were just looking plainly at compliance, or plainly just sitting there producing trial balances and producing balance sheets as a result of trial balances. I think employers now, when they hire a finance person, they want someone not just technically good, they want someone with a good sense of communication skills, the ability to interpret knowledge effectively, the ability to have a strategic viewpoint as well, and even the leadership requirements from a CFO has changed and evolved considerably as well over the last number of years. So I think it is important that you help prepare students as to what they can expect when they start going out into the working world as well. I think that is critical in terms of them ensuring that they have the right roles in meeting the experience requirements towards ACCA membership. And in terms of the tutor's role in supporting work experience requirements, like I've mentioned, bringing them the awareness of the practical experience requirements, inviting industry speakers for some of your classes to talk to the students will be really useful. Sharing your own personal experiences. I notice some of you here are lecturers, and you also have your own corporate roles in other companies. Sharing your own experiences also will help the students as well. I think encouraging students to read their student accountant, and I know a lot of students, they get the email for student accountants, but rarely do they actually read them. But encouraging them to read those articles, newspapers, and to encourage internships amongst the students will also help them meet their own work experience requirements as well. So finally, and this is going to be my penultimate slide, I think as tutors, as lecturers, as learning providers, as principals of schools, you are advocates of membership. And membership is not just about, we'll get the ethics, we'll have the experience, and we'll get membership. Membership is about being part of a wider global body, of ensuring that you follow, that a member follows the ethical rules and responsibilities that will govern an individual throughout his entire career, professional career, as a professional accountant. So I think we cannot understate the roles that you have to play in advocating membership and the values of membership to your students. So this is, my presentation on the roles that you will be playing in helping convince an individual to take on membership following the completion of one's exams. I will now hand over the mic to Habiba, and these are my contact details as well, by the way, for those of you who don't have them. I will now hand over to Habiba, who will set for us the objectives for the rest of today's masters, who will lead you through the technical content of today's sessions. So thank you, and I'll pass you over to Habiba.
Thank you very much, Riza. You made our job very easy for setting the ACCA objective and perspective. And yes, Riza has briefly told us about what's ACCA objective, about having and organizing this event, especially this Learning Providers Forum. Now I want to ask you that what is your objective? Why you are here? Anyone from this table, if I start from here?
Basically, looking forward to this is a networking opportunity as well, that is to interact and network with the fellow tutors. And secondly,
so the first one is networking opportunities. Okay.
And as well as to develop our skills and competencies in the capacity of a tutor.
Okay, so now I'll give chance to others. Okay, so the other one is developing skills. Anyone else? Objective? Why you are here? Anyone? No objective?
Some exam tips to the students that we can facilitate them.
To learn more about exam techniques? Okay.
Exam focus.
Okay.
There's a session on disseminating exam techniques.
Yes, yes. Yes, you were saying something.
To know what ACCA is doing in Nepal, what they're doing to develop the market.
Okay. ACCA activities. Okay.
Because students always think, comparing ACCA and local body and saying which one's better and all that, so we can say that ACCA is doing this.
Here I'll be able to share experiences from a lot of different markets.
Yeah. Yes. Any other objective? That why you are here? Why you? Yes, yes.
To learn more about ACCA and promote ACCA.
Okay. It's their ACCA activities and learn more. Yes, we can include it here. Any objective? Why you people are here? Yes.
I mentioned that in Lahore they went
Yes. Yes, you want to improve your teaching skills. Okay, developing, yes, it's developing skills includes teaching. Yes. Any new objective? To know about what? Why you're here?
Shy lecturers.
Yeah.
Shy lecturers before. I think to build a relationship with you guys.
To build a relationship with them. Okay. Networking is there.
Networking is there.
Any other objective? You don't want to learn about techniques of discursive papers? Yes?
Yeah, let's put down what the marker wants.
Yes, yes. You will get a chance to talk with the marker, Shoaib. Marker wish. Okay. Any other objective? Quickly.
Does anyone have any challenges that you like to discuss to find a solution?
Yes, and to learn or yeah.
Like no challenges. That's ideal situation.
I think we do have challenges,
Hmm.
and over the course we look forward to discussing on how we can overcome the
Can you
challenges.
think of any specific challenges at the moment so that we can
Just list it down, yeah.
Yeah, there would be many. Basically, English not as the most
Language skills.
language issues, tackling discursive papers.
That's a good one.
Okay.
I mean, when we talk about the language skills, especially based on my experience, the student try to develop the reading skills in terms of understanding the questions.
Hmm.
If you look at the PT or P1, which has 3 to 5 pages per question,
Understanding.
they lost, in between when they. So maybe some reading tips to this student.
In fact, it's completely in the program, how to read the requirements and analyze them.
Any other challenge where you want Shoaib to talk?
I mean, we also want to have, information available, easy access to learning resources, the ways and means to have all sorts of learning resources.
Accessing teaching and learning resources.
Okay.
Maybe next strategic plan of the ACCA in Nepal, how they plan to approach and expand the market in producing more qualified people.
Yes. Thanks. It's already covered. Any other objective? I think these objectives you have mentioned, which I'm sure Shoaib already have in the agenda and in his presentation, and definitely he'll talk about all these objectives. Now I'll hand over the proceedings to Shoaib so that he can continue the sessions.
Thanks, Habiba. Assalamu alaikum, Mangwanani, and you're a bit confused. So anybody who knows me from before, just keep quiet. We're going to start off our interaction because I'm here to share experiences. The little I've heard during your introductions, you are coming with a wealth of experience, different to some of the forums I did. You are also practitioners in the real world. So I'm not here to say this is what you will do. I'm here to say this is what I do, and this is what I've done in different markets, and this is what I've done in my life. What do you do? And then we see if you can produce some reconciliation statement that will allow our students to progress. If we don't, I'll just say goodbye, I had a good time. So the first game we're going to play is where do I originate from? And here I'm talking about country origin. Right? So one of you earlier suggested a prize. I don't know if Habiba wants to contribute a prize, but what is the country of origin? Now remember, we don't have much time.
Yours?
Yes.
Bangladesh.
Bangladesh. Good try. Good try.
India.
India. Reasonably close, but not immediate. Yeah. Pakistan, reasonably close, but not immediate. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So you've taken me right to A. We had B, right? Now, God made countries in alphabetical order. Now, some of you say God doesn't make mistakes, but I think he went through a learning, he or she went through, or they went through a learning curve. And they made all the mistakes, and the most beautiful country was made last. So when you go on some computers, and you have to select a country to fill out a form, which country comes last? Thank you. Okay. So sorry guys, you don't live in as beautiful a country as Zimbabwe. I've been fortunate, right? And they say, who you are, what you do is a bit of a lottery. None of us were in control of that. And that affects everything you do in life, right? And I've been fortunate, born and brought up in Zimbabwe. Then secondly, with a surname called Masters, which when I went to the front desk at the hotel in Lahore, the nice young man, very pleasant, at the front desk. But what happened is that hotel was a franchise operation. And then because of the problems in Pakistan, the franchise was withdrawn, but they have continued. But obviously, the franchise skills that he was taught, he must have been lost somewhere, because he said to me that, Shoaib Masters, okay, but I'm not allowed to put a nickname in my computer program. So I said, well, you've got my copy of my passport. How come the passport has got the nickname in it? So he says, well, it's a Zimbabwe passport. Maybe they put nicknames, but here in Pakistan, we don't put nicknames. So I said, look, young man, right? You might have to go and earn a master's degree. I was born with one, okay? But I said, look, more importantly, the community I come from, we get our name from the profession, and I come from 7 generations of teachers. He says, oh, and then his whole attitude changed, okay? But initially he wasn't happy with the nickname. So some of you said India, Pakistan. Now, before partition, it was all one country. So that's my origin. And my parents obviously worried about the impact partition would have in the 40s, went for opportunities in different parts of the world, and they ended up ultimately in what is now Zimbabwe. And that's where I was born and brought up. And my religion is Islam, but my home language is Gujarati, right? So that's a bit of background. And I was born in a village. And when I say a village, I mean a village. My father was asked by the community to start a school, and he was a headmaster in that village, and I was born there. And today, if you drive through there and you blink once, you'll miss the whole village, okay? So that's how small it is. So just shows you how the world has changed and how ACCA has evolved from a localized UK-centric qualification to the leading or one of the leading accountancy global qualifications. And Reza, am I mistaken, the largest maybe? Not the largest, okay, but the leading global accountancy qualification, right? So here I am from a village. I then trained in a city with, at the time, Tush Ross. And Reza reminded me, Tush Ross, that must have been quite a long time back, okay? So you're talking of 78 to 82, right? So some of you were not born then, or a lot of you were not born then. And then I went into management consultancy with Tush Ross, set up my own practice, and ultimately my wife and I and my roots drew me back into direct education and training, and we set up a college which is a market leader in Zimbabwe. It's called the Open Learning Center. And in the late 90s, we left a management team, very good management team in charge. A bit humiliating because after we left the business did even better. So we left it to run, and I spent 12 years with Kaplan in the UK, originally FTC Financial Training Company. So anyway, that's the sort of experience I come from. On the practical side, both management in starting centers and business units, and teaching in my area, where I got an MBA from Nottingham Business School in the area of strategic management. And I'm a marker for P3, right? So if you want to kill today any fallacies there are about what the examiner wants and what the market wants, and all the BS you've heard about it, today is the opportunity, because I'll be also speaking to you with my markers hat. And trust me, I'm the ultimate customer, guided by the examiner, you know, and that's for P3. But theme, back to the 3 E's, right? So here we are collectively, wealth of experience, right? And we have to get students through 14 papers. And Reza made one of the most beautiful quotations, or gave us one of the most beautiful quotations. We don't want simply accountants who are good. We want good accountants. Now, the one big fallacy in many of the markets that I've done this forum in is, at this stage, you are an accountant. And we all know that's not true. Membership, professionally, technically, you can call yourself an accountant. So the question is, in the classroom, whether your students are working or not working, working in the field, etc., how can we inculcate in them that actually you are not simply a learning provider? Habiba always gives the example, and Afra as well, about an institution which says we are a training provider, right? Training people to become accountants. And not simply accountants, but accountants who are good. And those who probably teach P1, you know, it's no longer simply the bottom line profits. What is the new view? Triple bottom line. People, planet, and profits. ACCA membership fits well in. Which country on this planet does not know the existence of ACCA? It'll be very hard to find, okay? Okay. It will take an under-ocean volcano to create a new island where they don't know about ACCA, okay? Then, in the classroom, how do we build up this whole aspect of professionalism? Now, from my personal experience, the word and term and sometimes adjective professional is misunderstood. So, I'm going to interact a bit with you. When you watch the movies or some TV programs or read some thrillers, you read about a professional hitman. Now, you might say to me, Shuaib, that's an unethical profession, right? Because what do hitmen do? They kill people for reward. But in my opinion, if you just sort of suppress that aspect of it and say they do it very professionally, what do you think is going on in my mind? What's professional about a professional hitman? Now we want to kill the shyness now. It's in the morning. We need a good laugh. So say anything that comes in your mind. At worst, we'll have a good laugh at your expense. No, I'm joking. Come on. They're following some sort of rules and conduct, even though we might say it's unethical. Fair enough. There may be an ethical way of killing. Absolutely. I just watched a movie on the plane, and it's called Loopers. It's about how they've invented a time machine so that these criminal organizations can send somebody in the past to kill somebody now. And it was very ethical the way they killed the person. The person just didn't feel anything. There was no torture involved, you know. Right. Ah, yeah. So it's planned and organized, because if the hitman makes a mistake, it's a capital offense, or they'll get killed as well, right? So in planning and organizing, what is the most crucial element to make that hit? I would say that's very important. The technical knowledge and the tools that are used. And the more up to date the tool, yeah, and then you get some hitmen who are from the old school and say, I'm not going to use any of these new tools, but I'm going to use what I'm always used to. And most importantly, a telescopic rifle, right? Which businesses use. Some businesses use an AK-47 to kill the whole market. Which of your colleges does an AK-47? And which college uses a telescopic rifle to target its market? Professional hitman uses a telescopic rifle. Okay, but there's something else I'm thinking about, because there's that famous hit movie where that hitman Carlos, what was it called? Day of the Jackal. Yeah, and they did an old version and a more up-to-date version, but it was famous, right? And there was something, if he got wrong, that's it. Time. Now, the problem with time is a cultural notion. I was teasing the Pakistani students to say, in the UK, when I got invited to one of the students' weddings, and it's a Pakistani wedding, if they say that lunch is at 1 o'clock, you go at 4 o'clock. There's no ways it will start at 1. And we all had a good laugh about it, right? I'm not sure what the situation is here, but I mean, all of you guys came reasonably on time, you know? So that's a good thing. But time is cultural. You know, I said I'm born and brought up in Africa, first generation. There's a tribe in Western Africa, Nigeria, in the west of Nigeria, called the Obas. And they have learned to communicate with their ancestors by suspending time. Where do they get that from? How to manage time? From you. And in fact, you don't actually have to talk about it. You just have to do it. I think Nike has a slogan. What's Nike's slogan? Oh yeah, just do it, yeah. So by example, right? So you've got a, you know, if you say to me, because when I joined what was called Kaplan, what was called FTC, Financial Training Company, we had a slogan, get you past. And we said, that's what we're all about. Kaplan changed all of that, but it's get you past. And the whole focus was on exams. And I'm saying, focus on membership, because you have to show ultimately how an accountant becomes good and professional, and how they plan, organize, execute. And if they are doing it in the exams. Now you'll say, but Shoaib, you know, what's the big complaint about? Okay, I've been marking P3 under the direction of the supervisor and the examiner for now I'm on the 8th sitting. And these days it's online. And I didn't get a chance to answer Reza's question, because then you started coming into the hall. So I said, forget you, Reza, I've got to see the participants, you know. But his question was, can you tell where the script is coming from? At one time I could tell, and I would get scripts from 3 locations. three centers, one in Ghana, one in West London, and one from Lahore. And I was teasing them in Lahore to say the scripts would come, one main booklet and minimum 3 supplementary booklets. And they gave everything they ever knew about everything in it. Now, was that the students' fault? Not really. They were taught from their academic background that the volume and quantity you write is what counts, right? Right? And I think we all know better, right? Okay, so how do we get the message across? So as a marker, one of the scripts I got at this sitting, question 2, 25 marks, part of the question is in relation to stakeholder expectations. And the scenario is an interesting place that visitors go to in the UK, and it's got nature, and it's got wildlife, animals, and so on. And the question about stakeholders' expectations, and guess on the script what was the top stakeholder group identified by the student. Now they knew the model to apply exactly. Mendelow's matrix, degree of influence, degree of power, position, and therefore strategy, what they expect and how you deal with it. And they had as their most important stakeholder group, a lot of the script, the animals on the farm. And they applied the model perfectly. They said the animals' interest is in being cared for and fed well. And the influence is the way they excite the visitors. And therefore, they have to be kept satisfied. Now, brilliant, there's the model, there's the stakeholder group. They've applied it using the scenario, everything they are taught. But I can't give a mark because, for God's sakes, I was in stitches. Animals are the stakeholder group. What was the problem? What was the problem, do you think? I hope you're not saying to me that the student was right, because come on, talk to me. How did they mess it up so badly? Yet they did everything correctly. Used the scenario, applied the model, everything we teach them. I'm sure they did it in the time limit as well. So what was the problem with the student? They did. They followed the requirement. Stakeholder expectations, model, application. Which E was missing? No, you don't need it. Trust me. What I've told you is enough. Not really. Experience. Because in the real world of strategy, who is a stakeholder group? Okay, so you are colleges. Is ACCA a stakeholder group for you? Why? Why? Yes, why are they interested in your business? They are not for-profit charity. You might not believe it. The fees Aviva charges. Not for-profit charity. Made up of?
Members.
Thank you. Made up of members, right? So why should you want to manage them? Carry on, I interrupted you.
I was saying, like, why would from the aspect, why would ACCA be interested?
That's what I'm asking you, asking me the question. That is very good. You in the wrong business. You should be in politics. No, just teasing. Please carry on. I told you we need a good laugh this morning. Right.